we'll put it like that.
Nice.
What's it like? I was actually there in attendance in Cleveland for Coe's first career NFL touchdown, which was awesome. And,
Awesome.
It was a great game. You could hear me on camera. I was just screaming, "Say it ain't so, Coe! Say it ain't so!" Sadly, from there, the game kind of went off the rails a little. That was the last high moment of that game, but it was a great game. Overtime loss, fun time.
Yeah.
But how was that moment for you? Seeing the first, whether it was on TV, in person, wherever you were, seeing his first NFL touchdown. How was that?
Well, dude, I mean, we were at home because it was a away game. We don't travel to a lot of the away games because we can get into that later. But, to watch that and to think I wish I was there live. So to have your video was so cool. And just saying, this is so cool. I mean, that was so cool for us. Catching it from Tom Brady, right? Like, he's got the ball yet. I mean, first NFL touchdown means a lot, right? I mean, as a dad, that's just so cool to see. And it was fun to watch. And, it didn't have the outcome we wanted, but still the same. What a memory. What a memory to have, right? So,
and honestly,
cool.
those one of the best guests ever, the Buccateers in the house tonight. You guys hear him on Tampa radio all the time. He's one of the best in the business. My favorite personal in the business. That's why I'm elated tonight. Growing up in the Chicago area, you're used to sports radio. That's what gets me through the day. So this man does help get me through the day, I will say, with the Pat and Aaron show at work. Nothing like it. So it's incredible. It looks like we got Stunna bumbling in. I'm Tampa Tones. We are joined by lead goon tonight, host of the Pat and Aaron show of WDAE, Pat Donovan. And it sounds like Stunna is bumbling a little bit. Going to put him on mute for a second until that gets a little cleared. But we're joined by Pat Donovan.
It looks like Stunna's hanging out with Cheech and Chong in a car with the windows up or something over there.
It does look like you got a little...
No, my camera's broke.
And he was trying to pull me in big time. And then I was like, nothing's happened with Indianapolis yet. Like, I really want to give Indy a chance. And then also I talked to Cody Gruden, once he took over Rich McCann, and still like, well, look, I was like, y'all just give me the opportunity to explore free agency, see what's going on, and then kind of make us do it.
All right, everyone, you are tuned into the Buccateers of wide receiver Kalen Geiger, and we are about to have a great pod. This is the Buccateers. You're tapped in, and here we go. Howdy ho, howdy hey, how the hell is everybody? Welcome into the Buccateers podcast. Very, very busy day in the world of the NFL, the National Football League. Multiple stars traded, multiple wide receivers traded. Saints cleaning house, Jets cleaning house, a lot to talk about. Bucs Patriots, big matchup. Zach and I are hitting the road here in the near future. We got a whole lot of good stuff to talk about on our plates. And oh, by the way, if you missed it, Man Cave Monday is out now on every streaming platform you could imagine, YouTube, Apple, Spotify, and more, as is the campus kickoff, debuting with MACTION tonight on a Tuesday. J-Lo, you killed it, and that is out everywhere, brother. How you doing?
Doing good, man. Doing good. Bye week's over. We're back to Buccaneer football. We stay put, but we'll talk about that soon. Good to see y'all, fellas.
Good to see you guys. Zach, Man Cave Monday was a lot of fun, and here we are right back at it on a Two Me Up Tuesday. Good to see you, brother. As expected, as we said yesterday, Bucs staying put.
Absolutely. Glad that the trade deadline came and went, so now we can all focus on, to fire Todd Bowles, right? That's going to be the next Twitter.
The Twitter mob is forming. Everybody is saying Jason Light's getting some hate for being too patient. It's just hilarious, just funny. The fans are never satisfied. B-Shuck back in 10 minutes for start of the show. Hey, we're here, brother. Don't go anywhere, B-Shuck. We are right here, my guy. Great to have you per usual. Our guy, Bucs Nation. My guys, long time no see, back from the bye week. Hey, we're all back from the bye week, dusting off the rust, dusting off the dust, all that in between. And the Bucs better not have any dust or rust as they're facing MVP candidate Drake May and co. come 1 o'clock Eastern time this Sunday here against New England in Tampa. Bye week went quick. The season's going quick. We're already in week 10 in the NFL, week 11 in college football. That's why when it's week 0 of college football, you got to sit back, you got to enjoy it, and just do that. Our guy, Rich, joining us. Happy Tuesday, fellas. I went to the Dodgers victory parade. Congrats to you and the Dodgers. Maybe not as good as a boat parade, but we'll give you the kudos for going to the parade. It's probably still a great parade, just not Lightning or Buccaneers worthy. J-Lo, did you go to those boat parades? And if you did, how were those compared to kind of a boots on the ground parade?
Unfortunately, I didn't.
What the hell, man? You didn't go. Zach, did you go to any?
But I will
No.
share this, oh my bad.
Go ahead, J-Lo.
No, I was saying, like a couple buddies of mine from work, they went, and believe it or not, they actually came to the hospital to use the bathroom. They told me how lit it was, and it kind of broke my heart. But unfortunately, I had to work for a living like everybody else. So, but I heard it was lit, though. I heard it was lit.
Jobs. What can you do? Freaking work always getting in the damn way. I do remember, real quick, brief, fun little story here, as we are joined live on Facebook by the great Fabricio El Monito, Tampa's own David Ferrara, great realtor out there. We appreciate the Facebook Live crowd. But I remember, shout out to our friends Pat and Aaron, Pat Donovan, Aaron Jacobson on WDAE of the Pat and Aaron show. And when the Lightning had their second boat parade, they actually brought a cooler into their office, and they were taking phone calls saying, hey, let us know if you want us to call your boss, and we'll try and get you out of work so you can come to the boat parade. How are they going to say no to some radio host? So Pat and Aaron actually ended up calling a couple of the guys' bosses who called in, and they pretty much said, all right, they could go to the parade, whatever. We can't really argue that. So that was really cool. A friend of the show's Pat and Aaron to call in. Zach, can you imagine that? You're at work. All right, you're good to go. Radio guys called in and said you're going to the parade.
Yeah, I don't think that's going to fly at my job, but that's awesome that it worked out for those fellas.
Yeah, Bucs Nation says he remembers watching the stream. Richard was off. Yeah, always better to have off on those days. Work clog. Work? What work? Certainly did my time of that. Yes, be shuck. Shout out to those who put in their time and service and now could sit back, relax, and kind of just enjoy life. Speaking of enjoying life, I was enjoying the deadline today, guys. It felt like an MLB deadline or an NBA deadline for those familiar with those. NHL even you could throw in there as well. A lot of trades usually happen on baseball, basketball, hockey deadline day. Football, usually you get a handful here and there, maybe 1 to 2 of nothing too crazy. Today, you had star after star or big name after big name getting moved. Jets made multiple trades. Saints made multiple trades. Colts got Sauce Gardner. Cowboys got Quinnen Williams. Seattle loading up with Rashid Shaheed. Jaguars going out and getting Jacoby Myers. J-Lo, this was a very active deadline. Also, Bears getting former Buck Joe Brown Shoenka. A handful of other trades. What stuck out to you today, J-Lo? We'll get to the Bucs after we get to the National Football League.
I gotta say, Sauce Gardner definitely caught me off guard. I was very surprised he got traded out of New York. You would think, maybe Jermaine Johnson, Breece Hall, but instead, no, it was Sauce Gardner, and good for the Colts to pull that off, to get the trade and bring him over there. I think he's going to do a lot of good over there. Getting out of New York. New York was clearly selling house. Even though they could have traded a couple more people off, but, that's their business. But Sauce Gardner definitely caught my attention. And then Quinnen Williams, that's the other one that shocked me as well. So Jets definitely sold the whole booty today for sure.
And I do like, as we welcome in the great ACATs of the program, co-host of the Buccateers, also host of a deep dive into the 813 here on the Buccateers, our history show. Welcome in, Cats. But J-Lo, to kind of piggyback off your point, I'm torn on what the Jets did. I do like what they did. I like getting, 3 first-round picks, second-round pick. You get 2 young players. A.D. Mitchell was the 50th pick last year. But there is a but. when your defense is ranked 4th in the NFL in terms of yards per game allowed, and then your offense is the sputter and wheel, but you trade your 2 best defenders and you don't bother to move an offensive piece. I just hard for me to kind of grasp that. To me, if you're going to do this and get rid of Quinnen Williams, get rid of Sauce Gardner, I approve of that. But we know the short shelf life of a running back. What good does it do to hold on to injury-prone Breece Hall if you're going to rebuild right now and you don't get the 5th-year option on him? So I just don't get it. It's like the Jets went halfway to going all-in selling when, to me, you could have moved the Breece Hall for a 3rd-round pick at that point and then moved Jermaine Johnson as well. I like what they did, but to me, they could have went a little more all-in. Zach, what say you on the deadline, Jets, or anybody else that you want to talk about?
I think the Jacoby Myers to Jacksonville is an interesting move. Does that signify that Travis Hunter's injury is a little bit more severe than they're letting on? Maybe it's season ending, or maybe they're going to move him to defense full time. So that was interesting, I thought. The Jets are just, it's crazy. They trade off 2 guys who are young, core, foundational players on that defense for draft picks, and we all know what the draft can be like. It can either, rebuild your franchise or set you back even further. So it's such an unknown commodity. I did read that the Chiefs had a 4th on the table for Breece, but they wanted a 3rd, and neither side was willing to compromise from that. They said they were wanting a 2nd for Jermaine Johnson and a 4th for Quincy Williams. So they apparently had price tags on the majority of their, superstars, or, even just regular stars, I guess. But yeah, it was interesting. Saints come in right under the deadline and make the last trade of the window, shipping Penning out to the Chargers, which, it's a good move for the Chargers considering Alt just went down for the year. But I was shocked with the Sauce Gardner move, just because defensive rookie of the year, as one of the more elite corners in the league. So for them to just ship him off, but 2 firsts it's a pretty big payday for him. So I don't know. It was a wild day. It wasn't like we're typically used to for the NFL trade deadline, like you mentioned.
No, it was crazy. It seemed like every 30 to 60 minutes, news was flushing in. Started out with the Bengals and Cowboys making it early morning, 6 a.m. Central Time swap, and kind of kept the ground running from there before we bring in A-Cats and get his thoughts on things and welcome him in from the bye week. How do you trade Sauce Gardner when he has his own sauce at Buffalo Wild Wings? What are you doing? What are you doing? You're just giving up an endorsement deal like Sauce. I mean, the guy's name is Sauce. That's a big merchandise seller right there. Glad we got to see Sauce in person. Yeah, exactly. And the Bucs did pretty good against Sauce. I will say Egbuka, Evans, before he went out, they both had pretty good days. My biggest trade deadline takeaway is the stupidity of the Dallas Cowboys and how dumb and more dumb, dumber, dumbest, dummy, whatever you want to call Jerry Jones at this point. And how can you not be pissed off as a Cowboys fan? So let me get this straight. You end up pretty much doing the following in a trade. You trade Micah Parsons. You trade a 2nd-round pick. And then you trade a young player, former 1st-round pick, kind of down-and-out defender, but still nonetheless former 1st-round pick, struggling in your system to the Jets as part of the Quinnen Williams trade. So to be exact here, this is what the Dallas Cowboys gave up in theory. If you're talking about a 1-for-1 in theory of a Micah Parsons, Quinnen Williams type swap, this is exactly what it was. So you gave up Micah Parsons, you gave up a 2nd-round pick next year, and then you also give up a young player. And then in return, you get Quinnen Williams and a 1st-round pick, and Clark from the Packers as well. So the young player and Clark are almost a washout to me. You improve from a 1st-round pick, a 2nd-round pick to a 1st-round pick. That's great. But then, the Williams is a good player, nothing against him. But the fall off from Parsons to Williams isn't worth to me the minor upgrade from a second round pick to a first round pick. So if you're a Dallas Cowboys fan, I just want to, be a shoulder you could lean on today, you could cry on today. Mozzie Smith, to me, again, cancels out with Clark. And then the first round pick, you got rid of one today, so that cancels out with the one you got back for Parsons. Then you got rid of a second round pick today, pretty much cancels out with the first you got back for Parsons. Then it's Parsons and Williams. I don't get it. I do not understand what Jerry Jones is trying to tell his fan base. He's literally like, I don't know. Cats, welcome in from the bye week, brother. I don't know if yours being boozled as I am by the Cowboys, but truly surprising to me. Like Richard said, they're trying to move on like they're not contenders. Now they're acting like they're contenders. You just got killed by a backup quarterback on national football. It's embarrassing, Dallas. Truly pathetic. Cats, what say you?
Yeah, they didn't really come out very much ahead in terms of the draft picks, like you said, because I think they sent their own first round pick, not one of Green Bay's, which right now is a top 15. Who knows? Things go bad enough to be top 10.
To piggyback off your point quick, they are even dumber because they gave the Jets whatever pick ends up better the Jets get. That was written in the agreement too. So, hey, if the Packers do worse or if the Cowboys do worse, the Jets get that pick as well.
Well, then it's going to be Dallas's pick, obviously. That's weird. That's odd that they would do that. Yeah, in the end, it all kind of ended up, like you said, Parsons for Williams. I don't feel like it's really much of a net gain for the Cowboys. In fact, it's not. Because Williams is very good. Parsons is a special player. Hard to figure out. Also, Wilson, the linebacker, is on maybe the worst defense in football, and the Cowboys have maybe the second worst. So the trade for him, that's a weird one. Not that you gave up much, but it's just not going to make it any better. So yeah, very strange what the Cowboys are doing. They're a non-contender, really, barring some sort of hot streak. And I don't know. Jerry Jones, probably shouldn't be running a football team.
Yeah, and they're 3-5. They're 3-5. And they're throwing away first-round draft picks.
Zach, you're right. If they win last night, not that they're in striking distance, but I could see it, right? You win last night, you have 4 wins, you're 4-4 at that point. You're right there in the NFC, okay? You want to move the envelope, but you're 3-5-1. You're 1.5 to 2.5 games back of a legitimate playoff spot. The teams you got to get through, too, are all better than you. That's Detroit, that's Chicago, that's a couple of these other teams out there that are truly better than Dallas. So it's really just one of those mind-boggling situations, but kind of shows the ineptness. And we got a text in from Pops, J-Lo, who's ran worse, the Jets or the Cowboys. And shout out to B-Shuck for the super chat. Let's play a little sound for our guy B-Shuck giving us the super chat. Round of applause. J-Lo, what's your thoughts on the super chat? And then Pop's text, Cowboys, Jets, who's ran worse?
Okay, shout out to Bisha. Appreciate you, man. Always appreciate your contribution for the pod, listening out, throwing your comments. We love it every time. As far as Pops goes, to me, I feel Dallas is pretty much being run by an old man with Alzheimer's who doesn't know what he's doing, in my opinion. I do like the Quinn Williams trade, for the most part, but at the same time, like you just said, 3-5-1. I mean, where are you going to go with that? And you're giving up first-round draft picks. So to me, the Jets, I feel like they're doing the right thing by resetting and just starting over, gather as much draft picks as possible, whatever they can. So to me, I see Dallas is probably the most not run well America's team, which is not, in my opinion, which I threw in the chat yesterday or last night. So I say Dallas.
And remember, Jerry Jones says the point of getting draft picks for Micah Parsons is getting potentially more better players, right? And then he goes and, he just backstabs that. Zach, least ran well team in the NFL. Who say you?
Oh, man, don't put a gun to my head and ask me the question. I don't know. It seems like they're trying to outdo each other. At least the Cowboys have some Super Bowls under Jerry, so I guess that counts for something somehow. New York is just the place where quarterbacks go to die. Man, I don't know. I guess if we're talking today, maybe the Cowboys by just a smidge. But I don't know. That's a tough one. I think that's a whole episode you could go back and forth and and debate that.
It's like we got to create a Deadliest Warrior. Remember that show back in the day where it'd be like Jesse James clan versus the Chicago mobsters. We could do who's ran worse, Jets or Cowboys, and have a whole history lesson there. JC Allen saying acknowledge me. We'll acknowledge you. Welcome back into the program. Coach Allen Olive saying, hey, we love our lady listeners. B Shuck JC going back and forth. Cats, you're getting a shout out for laying down, brother. He said, my man said I could sit up for this, but I'm just going to lie down. So, Cats, since you're the topic matter there, what say you on who the worst ran team in football is, in your opinion? Browns, Jets, Cowboys, Dolphins, Panthers. A lot of good choices here.
Yeah, I'm a little tired, so yeah.
Hey, get that rest, brother. We need this pod to rest up and keep our beauty strength strong. Don't listen to JC. He's only here once every 10 episodes these days.
They actually run better these days. They've actually made some strides. You have a head coach that the players believe in. The Browns. Yeah, the Browns. Saints look pretty. Don't look like they're being run very well these days either, which I love to see. The Cowboys have at least been good in recent memory. They haven't won anything, and the Jets have just been just such a dumpster fire for so long. But yeah, I would probably say the Jets, based on recent, most more than recent history. I don't remember the last time they made the playoffs, honestly, and I usually have a good memory. So yeah, I'd give the Jets the crown. They did okay in the trades they made today, but hey, there's no guarantee. There's not much of a track record to make you necessarily think that they're going to pick the right guys with these draft picks. So we'll see what happens there.
Yeah, and I agree. Browns, I give not a great edge. I'm not speaking on their behalf, but I give a slight edge to the Browns only because they did win a playoff game. They made the right move with Baker Mayfield, although they ultimately got rid of him, but at least they brought him in. They did try and swing for the fences with Deshaun Watson. Obviously, it worked out poorly, and then they hired a pretty good coach in Kevin Stefanski. So the Browns do things like half right lately, where the Jets, it's just like, oh, we'll make Zach Wilson the second overall pick, and all the scouts are even saying that's way too high of a crapshoot. And then they gave up on Sam Darnold too early. They haven't made the playoffs in forever. Jerry Jones, I'm going to rule out the Cowboys here for a weird reason. I can't take them seriously as long as their owner is literally running it like it's a reality TV show, which he says he has time and time again now. I don't really consider the Cowboys even a legit NFL team. I consider them a soap opera. So I'm disqualifying them from the conversation just because they're not ran how they should be, right? They're clearly ran for clicks and ratings, and hey, good for them, but I'm disqualifying them from the convo. So I'm going to go with the Jets on that, who were busy at the deadline. Speaking of the opposite of busy at the deadline, Coach Allen said his season's over, lost in double overtime, sadly. Championship. He'll be joining the show again soon. Thank you for that. We look forward to having you. Sorry for your loss on the championship. Raiders close third. That's a good call. Raiders are always down there. But again, they're one of those teams that have been seemingly trying to do the right thing, right? They do have Brady in the fold now. They did get John Spytek. Not that Geno's playing great, but they tried to get better there. They tried to get Pete Carroll. So at least they're trying to make the right move. We'll see next year if it is the right move. I think the Bucs made the right move by staying put, though, Zach. What say you? I know some fans are up and at him over that. And T-Crest did report that the Bucs were in talks with some teams, but again, they're not going to overpay for things, right? And that's what I was pointing out the whole time. Everyone's like, oh, the Bucs are too quiet. I'm like, they're probably not quiet in terms of conversation, Zach, but the end result's probably going to be quiet because Light is a guy who's not going to overpay, and that's what we've seen here again.
Yeah, I think, social media has kind of ruined us as fans because we think we need to know everything that's happening at all times. And we're not owed anything by these franchises. So they're going to do their due diligence in the background and they don't have to tell us anything. The prices were too high. I mean, you saw what people were getting traded for today. The prices were too high. Jason's not going to mortgage the future on this. I mean, when you're talking, they want a fourth for Quincy Williams. So that probably means they're wanting Miami's probably wanting a second for Brooks. I mean, the Light's not going to do that, right? So he's been here. I think this is his 11th season as the GM. He's made one in-season trade, and it was a pick swap outside of being the season. JPP for a third? I think that's probably about close to being about it as far as trades. It's not really his MO. He's going to build through the draft and free agency. I know we all want the big, exciting splash plays because we have that Madden brain and we think that those trades are going to make us instantly better. To me, it's a positive, right? Because it means that Godwin and McMillan are probably going to see the field this season. It means Gedeke's probably on the way back. Bucky's on the way back. So it means we're getting healthier in the places that we've could potentially see a trade for. So I know people are upset about the Servassier Dennis piece because he's a liability in coverage, but he's been trending towards getting better. So I think the coaching staff and the front office have a better understanding of his progression. So I think we just need to be patient and let the product play out on the field.
Yeah, it is. You were close, Zach. 12th year for Jason Light. He started in 2014, so he's had 11 full seasons under his belt. And as you said, yes, he's made some off-season trades, right? You get the Gronk, you get, as you alluded to, JPP right before the season. Then he did make the McClendon in-season trade for the Super Bowl year, but that was a late-round pick swap, as we talked about the other day. And as JC just said, he was making calls the past month, probably looking to get like a McClendon type player as well, right? So it was one of those things where we also traded for Logan Mankins right before the season started. Right. I think that was Jason Light's first year here. So he'll trade in the off season. He'll trade before the season, cream his crop. But in the middle of the season, J-Lo, I have no problem with how the Bucs approach a deadline. What say you? Shout out to our guy Matt Kratz saying Tones agree with you on the big moves by the Jets. But I like all the moves the Eagles did. Wish the Bears could have done better. So quickly, Eagles, Bucs, opposite spectrums. First of all, thanks for joining us, Kratz. Secondly, Eagles trading like once a week, seemingly throughout the year, where the Bucs kind of sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. I like both approaches. I like the Bucs approach for growing a future. Eagles have a small window they continue to go all in on. So, J-Lo, either way of the apple, I don't mind it. Bears did get JTS today. The Bears past three deadlines, you got Claypool, you got Sweat, you got JTS. I know JTS hasn't produced this year, but at least they tried to do something. But J-Lo, thoughts on the state of the Bucs deadline or anything I just said?
Well, any Roll fans, for the most part, when it comes to Light, he's one of those ones that will not make any moves at all. And I'm fine what he did. To me, he felt that, we're getting players back healthy, which I think Zach mentioned earlier. To me, I feel comfortable with what we got going on and what they're putting together. As far as the Eagles go, that's what they do. That's their motto. They want a championship. But our motto is, we draft to better our future instead of doing it right here and now.
Katz, what say you on the Bucs deadline and their approach? And as we kind of alluded to, you're going to be getting potentially Ruddick, Bucky Irvin, Chris Godwin, Mike Evans, maybe McMillan, long shot there, but you're going to be getting healthier down the stretch, Cats.
Yeah, and that's more important than anything. They've managed to get to 6-2. I mean, they've used 5 right guards. They haven't had the right tackle. Constant shuffling. It's tough. There was no deal out there. He works these GMs. They all work the phones. They're all shopping around, but it takes 2 to tango. It takes 2 to make a trade. And a guy like Jordan Brooks, I liked quite a bit. The Dolphins didn't trade him, which means they didn't want to trade him. They like him as a player, and he's under contract next year too. Obviously there's a price for everything, and it was obviously too high. And receiver, I mean, Jacoby Myers, there's no way I would. You're trading. The Jags have more picks than us, so it makes it easier for them. they've been able to accumulate a lot of draft picks. We did not have that. And yeah, no way I would do that. The only guy I knew they were looking around at was they considered signing Marquez Valdez-Scantling, which would have been an okay signing, but he signed with Pittsburgh instead. I have no issue with what the Bucs did.
Yeah, so Josh Downs, a little bit of a break in Colts news here. Jersey number aficionados, we know Zach's a jersey aficionado. We have a number change of pretty relevant Colts player. They got Sauce Gardner. Sauce Gardner's number 1. I'm sure he called up wide receiver Josh Downs and said, "Hey, Josh, how you doing? I'm Sauce. How you doing? I'm your teammate. Let me get that number 1. I'll give you some of my Buffalo Wild Wings endorsement money. Maybe you could get the Josh Downs Sauce." Sauce Gardner gets number 1 in Indianapolis, leaving Josh Downs changing from 1 to 2. So Josh Downs is now number 2. Sauce Gardner remains number 1. So, Zach, we just kind of had that happen. Remember, right before the year for the Bucs, it was like a jersey carousel. So hopefully, if you bought a Josh Downs jersey in the past week or so, you could change it. But Zach, one jersey we won't need to exchange as Bucs fans. Luke Gadecki is 67, is here to stay, both number-wise and field-wise, as his practice window just opened. Thoughts on his possibility of returning this week or maybe next?
Man, I'm hoping we hear that he participated in practice tomorrow and is trending towards playing on Sunday. We really need some stability on the line. Hopefully, having him on the other side of Feeney really solidifies that line, and the left side feels that as well and plays a little bit better. We talked about it a little bit last night. The offensive line play, I think, has led more to Baker's struggles over the last 2 games than the play calling, really. I think he's kind of been feeling the rush and running, and rushing through his progressions and throwing high to kind of compensate for that. I mean, he's been hurt as well, so I'm not discounting that, but I really think the uncharacteristical poor play of the offensive line in the last 2 games, I think, has really affected the play. So hopefully Luke coming back sooner rather than later will kind of remedy that a little bit.
Agreed, completely agreed. As you said, for those who missed it, go on last night. Zach and I had another good convo about it on Man Cave Monday. We dove into this convo as well, so I'll save my thoughts. If you want to hear those, go and watch a replay of Man Cave Monday. But J-Lo, thoughts on Gadecki practice window opening? That could be huge for this Buccaneers team.
No, very huge. Obviously, he was very missed on the right side of the offensive line. The O-line's been pretty bully the last couple of games we played. So getting Gadecki back would be a big help. I feel Bucky Irving also coming back as well to run the ball more, take less pressure off Baker because he was pretty banged out going to the bye week. Now, as far as him coming back this week, we'll see how it goes. You know how Bulls is. He's not going to give the whole detail about that till last minute. So if not, definitely next week. But the fact that he's back, practicing hopefully tomorrow, just seeing him warming up with the team, definitely a good sign. I love it. I love to hear it.
Cats, what say you on the Bucs Mount Mammoth Gadecki returning?
Yeah, that's huge. I mean, and I have a good feeling. I mean, I'm not a doctor. I don't know exactly what's going on, but I have a feeling it might be one of those things where they say if there's no setbacks, that he'll be good to go. I don't know. Obviously, nothing was broken. So who knows? Maybe he had plantar fasciitis, which is very painful. I'm just guessing. But thrilled that he's back practicing. It'll be even more thrilling to see him back in the lineup. So we get like that stability, those bookends, left and right tackle. I mean, we just haven't, the shuffling on the O-line is just very tough to really sustain anything when you're constantly having to do that. So, yeah, it would be just fantastic to have it when we were getting him back.
Yeah, couldn't agree more. And again, I'll save my thoughts on Gadecki. Go watch Man Cave Monday. These 3 gentlemen did a great enough job speaking for that. Injury report is not out yet on a Tuesday, a little too early for that. But some Patriots guys who might be a little bit banged up heading into this one, maybe missing the game. Ramondre Stevenson missed last week with a toe injury. He is questionable heading into this matchup. So the Patriots really rely heavily on their running back. So Ramondre is one to watch. Also one to watch, their deep threat went down with the hamstring injury last week. Keyshawn Boudy, he was having a really good year. He scored 2 touchdowns in week 6, a touchdown in week 7, a touchdown in week 8 before getting hurt in week 9. So potentially 2 big offensive weapons out for New England. Running back Antonio Gibson also currently on injured reserve for the Patriots as well. So Zach, New England, much like Tampa, not defensive injury wise, but offense, they are banged up a little bit, which it stinks to see, but at least for the Bucs' sake, it kind of balances the playing field.
Yeah, kind of. But man, Drake May's really found a way to utilize whoever's out there. They're real scrappy. I mean, I don't think even most of us probably could have named the receivers of the Patriots at the beginning of the year, and they've done a tremendous job of utilizing what weapons they have. So I think it's going to be a tough game. I really do. I'm hoping that that Todd's got some exotic looks dialed up and ready for the second year kid to try to knock him off his game a little bit, because he's really been playing lights out. So it's going to be tough. So I'm glad that our secondary is relatively in good shape. But yeah, it's going to be a good game on Sunday.
Cleve and me, our co-host and Colts fan, says, hey, boys, feeling saucy. Can't wait to be in the Tampa weather this weekend. Yes, we cannot wait to be there. Going to be a lot of fun hanging with the group, watching football, and so much more. Real quick, Cats, what are your thoughts on the Patriots injuries potentially? And also, Cats, thoughts on Barton? Are you concerned at all?
Well, regarding the Pats, I watched their game with Atlanta this past week. May actually struggled a little bit. He held the ball quite a bit. That, which is typical for a young quarterback. He also makes a lot of plays. He was sacked 6 times, and he turned it over twice. So, if you can force him to hold that ball just a little bit, and they were -2 in the turnover ratio. They won the game anyway. So he's been fantastic, but Butte, I can't pronounce it right. Yeah, he's been a deep threat. That would be a tough loss for him if he's out. Obviously, Stephon Diggs and Douglas, some other guys. There's plenty of talent there, but for the Bucs, you hope you can get pressure with your front four. They've been creating. They're number 1 in havoc rate. I don't remember exactly what that means, but that's a good stat for the Bucs. Barton is a little bit concerning. He's regressed a bit this year. He's gotten driven backwards quite a bit. Especially the last game, the Saints game, was a real struggle. I think he's a very talented player, and I do think he'll be all right. But yeah, it's concerning. Now again, if you get Gadecki back, stable, it might, it can have a ripple effect and stabilize the rest of the offensive line. So hopefully that helps him as well. But I do think he'll be fine.
Yeah, and one saving grace for the Patriots, Hunter Henry's been a big help there this year, Mr. Steady Eddie, right around the 400-yard mark, 29 receptions, 4 touchdowns when you're a young QB. Good to have that tight end to rely on. Their weapons aren't as good as the Colts, but kind of like the Colts when you play them, right? You spread the ball out, you get it to different people. That's kind of what you expect in New England. You never quite know who might take over a game. J-Lo will give you a different one. Thoughts on Pat's injuries, Boudy, Stevenson, Gibson, and beyond, and thoughts on the Tampa weather this weekend. How we looking over there?
We're looking good. I think we'll be in like the low 80s for the most part from what I've seen. So not too hot from the last time y'all guys came down. As far as the injuries goes, I mean, the Patriots, shout out to Mike Vrabel. He's done a good job getting this team ready to play, winning football games. That's one thing, very underrated coach. As far as the injuries go, Stevenson, he's a big one, I feel. And then Butte, the receiver, that's how you pronounce his name. But they still got the weapons they can throw it to. Hunter Henry's another one we can talk about another time. But at the end of the day, these injuries, can derail the Patriots, but you can't take them lightly no matter who's playing at this point. It's any given Sunday, pretty much no matter who you're playing.
I think McMillan still has more TDs than Polk. Yeah, first of all, Polk's out. Secondly, could you imagine that at Washington College? You had Polk, you had Adunza, you had McMillan, Michael Penix. What a time to be alive there, and Coach DeBoyer as a Washington fan. So kind of crazy that they had all that talent. But yes, we'll see what happens. Stevenson could still play. Bowdy posted on his own social media last night that he still might play. So you never know if these guys are going to be in and out, besides Antonio Gibson, who is currently on IR for this New England Patriots team. We are not on IR, though. We're the Buccateers. We're here live on a Two Me Up Tuesday. Patriots, Bucks, NFL trade deadline, so much more to talk about. If you are watching on YouTube, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, turn that notification bell on. You'll never miss an episode. We also offer membership opportunities, super chats, super things, and so much more that help grow the show. We appreciate B-Shuck's super chat earlier. It really does help grow the show, keep us boots on the ground, keep us intact, keep the show running. Go check out our memberships. You could get free shout outs, you could get free gear, free merch, and stuff like that. We do giveaways here on Saturdays as well. Shout out to Pops again for winning our UNLV giveaway. Be on the lookout on Thursday for our next giveaway there. Speaking of giveaway, the QBs in this one don't give the ball away all that much. Drake May, Baker Mayfield have done a really good job this year of limiting turnovers. J-Lo, when you look at a Drake May type, who do you think is the QB advantage in this one? Bucks, Pats, everybody's all sudden all in the hot cahoots for Drake May.
Yeah, I mean, Drake May is having a really good season. There's no lie in that. But to me, I feel the way Bowles is getting this defense prepared and ready to get after the quarterback, I feel that we can give Drake May some fits. Like Kat's mentioned, he held the ball a little longer than usual and turned the ball over. So to me, he's very beatable if you get the pressure on him. So to me, I'd be more concerned definitely on the coverage. Like I mentioned earlier, Hunter Henry probably my biggest concern besides Stephon Diggs, but our corners have been playing really good football. So to me, you got to get pressure on Drake May, get rid of the ball soon. I think we'll shut down the run. So to me, it's all about getting pressure on Drake May. Don't give him any time. Just get in his face, make him make mistakes, and I know he will.
Zach, what say you? Would you already put Drake May in the battle of the elites with Baker Mayfield and company?
I don't know. I think we anoint these guys way too early. He's playing really well. I don't know if I'd put him in the same tier as Baker just yet. I mean, Baker has already 4 game-winning comebacks just this season. I don't think Drake's done that to this point, but that's not saying anything that he can't do it in his future. I just think right now, yeah, he's playing well. They're a well-coached team. They're scrappy. They're getting the most out of what they're putting on the field. So those are all positives, but it's a little too early. Like I said, I mean, look at the regression that Jaden Daniels has seen in Washington from his breakout rookie season to his second year. I think there's just a lot of drop off because of there's tape out there. I think May's got to, he's got to do it for a couple more seasons before we're ready to start talking about putting him in another tier.
What say you, Cats? Mayfield, no pun intended. Mayfield, but what say you, Cats, on the battle of the Mays, we'll say?
Yeah, I agree with what Zach said. May is definitely very polished, for a young player, young quarterback. He's definitely impressive. But putting him in, and that's not to say that, who knows? Maybe he continues to ascend this season and maybe he gets MVP. I don't know, but I wouldn't expect that. I'm still putting him on second tier because he's not even 2 full seasons in yet. So I would certainly give us the advantage there. Very promising. Drake May, he's done a lot of great things, but yet it is very early in his career.
Very early indeed, and that quarterback class is looking pretty dang good. All of a sudden, you get May, you get Williams, you get Jaden Daniels, a couple other cats who could really sling the football out there. So interesting to see when it's all said and done who will kind of be the cream of the crop of that quarterback class right now. May leading the way. Wow, we're rhyming, we're punning, we're having all kinds of funning. Whatever, I'm making up words now here on the Buccateers. Can you tell it's the 3rd pod in 2 days? No, you can't. Okay, cool. Baker Mayfield on the Manning cast was cool yesterday. He had all kinds of fun stuff to talk about. 2 things I took away. I don't know if any of you guys caught him on the Manning cast, but when Eli was like, how often do you practice scrambling? Baker's like, I only practice once in Fayetteville. And That's when he got arrested. And then number 2, what was funny was they asked him about Jerry Jones and how he runs the Cowboys, and he kind of just said he's going to do what he's going to do, and he doesn't want any part of that. But Zach, did you happen to catch the Manning cast at all last night by chance with Baker Mayfield?
No, I didn't catch it. I saw some of the quotes on social media, but I didn't get a chance to catch it live.
J-Lo, what say you? I think not. Hopefully, it's no time soon, but I think Baker Mayfield would be pretty damn entertaining in a role like the Manning cast when his post-playing career is done one day.
No, absolutely. Baker's just got the great sense of humor. He's got that dog in him to where everybody loves talking to him. He's just very fun to listen to. I caught a little bit of him on the Manning cast. I said that my favorite part is when he put the Oklahoma hat on and rub it in on Peyton Manning because Oklahoma being Tennessee over the weekend. So that was pretty enjoyable. You know, Baker just went and said, "Oh, yeah, we're not going to talk about it." And he puts the Oklahoma hat on. So that was pretty funny. So shout out to him. He'll be funny in the future when it comes to that. But in the meantime, I'm just going to enjoy him playing football and just help us win football games.
Butter Mayfield. Cats, what say you on the whole Manning cast? Do you ever watch it? Did you last night by chance?
I did not, but I heard about it, and certainly him funny talking about. It's like, yeah, I got arrested in Chattanooga for that, and talking. I think he said, "Here we go," like he was kind of taking a fun little pot shot at Dak Prescott because that's what he always says during his cadence. All right, here we go. Yeah, so always funny, and I'm sure one day he'll make a good analyst of some sort, and he'll be entertaining as hell to listen to. But hopefully that's a long way down the road.
Definitely so. Bake is here to stay. Speaking of here to stay, we're in the midst of 49 straight nights of football. MACTION starts taking over on Tuesday and Wednesdays. Anthony Gator and his conference out of the weeknight action. MACTION into the weeknight action for you college football maniacs. In about 15 minutes from now, you do have UMass, University of Massachusetts, at Akron going on over there. Then you have the Battle of Ohio, which was on J-Lo's Jolts, Miami of Ohio at Ohio. And actually on Man Cave Monday yesterday was Akron Zips head coach. We shouted him out, Coach Moorhead, in our TTM session as well. So if you're a MACTION guy, go catch J-Lo's Jolts, Man Cave Monday. We talk about all thing MACTION in both. Tom Brady's 7 rings. Patriots about to whip that ass. It's nice having the Brady faithful back. Let everybody, round of applause for the Brady faithful. Welcome back after a 3-year absence. Thank you. You disappeared when Brady left, and welcome back. Great to have you back. Welcome. We'll welcome you with open arms. Thank you for botching the greatest quarterback in NFL history with your franchise. Thank you for fumbling the greatest quarterback in franchise history with your inept franchise. We're only grateful here on the Buccateers for how poorly the Patriots are ran and for giving us Tom Brady. We truly appreciate you guys from the bottom of our hearts. We hope you have a great game day come this Sunday. Speaking of great game day, Buccateers having a great game day as the Bucs announce crew is revealed, ladies and gentlemen. Tony Romo and Jim Nantz getting the call, Zach. I don't know. I know I'll be at the game, but I always love a Tony Romo Bucs game because it seems like whenever Tony's on the call, he has a lot of faith in the Bucs and confidence in the Bucs, which not a lot of announcers seem to do.
Yeah, it's refreshing over Jonathan Vilma with the Saints game, how he was so pro Saints the entire time. There was no impartiality there. Romo gives you a little bit more of that. I like Romo. I think he's a good call. It's also nice for us to get the A squad on a 1:00 game. That says a lot. I don't think the game's going to be flex, so I know that's kind of out there on social media. I think it's going to stay pat at 1:00, and yeah, excited. Hopefully, I'm actually in the stadium and not listening to it in the car on the way home.
Definitely, and hope the safe travel. If you are in the car listening to it, at least you get Romo, or if you somehow get the Bucs radio, you get Gene Deckerhoff. So you get a couple of good options there, regardless if you are in the car. But J-Lo, it's a big game. As Zach said, lead announce crew for CBS is in the house. That's how you know it's a big game for you.
No, absolutely. Obviously, it went from like maybe a blowout or runaway for the Bucs to now we actually have a football game, two division leading teams, and now you're gonna get the A team and broadcasting with Tony Romo and the whole gang. So even though I'll be at the game too, but still always entertaining, because Romo has always been pretty fair, in my opinion, not just picking one team like the other commentators we get. So that's awesome.
Beat down just like Robert Kraft and Belichick beat Brady's luggage out of town. That was interesting to see. So if you're in
Oh, I thought that was the name of the massage parlor that Kraft went to.
Oh, oh my God. Oh, wow. Yeah. Well, beat down, rub down, whatever that one might have been called. That was called something funky. We'll just go with that. But once again, Tom Brady, 7 rings. Thank you for your franchise being so inept that you actually clearly followed your fandom to Tampa, which we appreciate. You probably spent your money on watching the Bucs, which we appreciate. And thank you for letting us help win a Super Bowl by not only giving us Baker, not only giving us Gronk, but by giving up on Antonio Brown as well. Cats, what say you on the Tony Romo broadcast team getting the Bucs game this Sunday, 1 o'clock Eastern, as Zach alluded to? If it was going to get flexed, it probably would have already.
I've liked him as an analyst since he started. He always seems like he always knows what play is coming before it happens, and he's got a lot of great insight on the game. I enjoyed the game they called for us against the 49ers. I thought they did a great job, so I'm looking forward to having CBS's A crew on this game.
Definitely, definitely. So Richard's having a great time in the chat right now. Love it, love it, love it with our guy, Richard. Speaking of love it, love being here on the Buccateers. We will be back tomorrow with a quick episode of Towing the Line, Joey Nips. Tomorrow night, we'll be back releasing that quick preview of NFL Week 10. Can't believe that's here. Again, Man Cave Monday out, campus kickoff out, and then Saturday showdown. Moving up to Thursday this week. We'll be here on Thursday doing our Saturday show. That one will be a lot of fun, and then we'll be off this coming Monday as I'm traveling back from Tampa after the Bucs, hopefully, and they will beat the New England Patriots. So a couple of things left. Those ticket prices are insane. J-Lo, I don't know if I've ever seen prices as high. I do hope they fall, but man, it's not only the Bucs, it's football in general. Seems like a lot of the prices are on the up and up this year, J-Lo.
No, I couldn't agree more. It was just wild about a week and a half ago. The ticket prices were skyrocketing just for the nosebleeds. Now it's ridiculous. I'm like, come on, man, be better than that. As much money these athletes make and all that, it's unbelievable. I mean, it's dropping, but not by much. So hopefully by the time y'all get here, hopefully the ticket prices drop to where it's more reasonable, because no one's going to pay $200 to $300 to up the nosebleed. That's ridiculous. You might as well just go to a bar and watch it at a bar or something, or just stay home. You know what I mean?
The sad thing is people will, though, and that's why these people are doing it, right? Because people will pay to do that, and it hurts people like us who might not be able to do that or might not want to do that. I'm not disagreeing with you, J-Lo, at that point. I'd rather watch it on TV or at a bar, but they're only selling it that much because clearly there's a market out there.
No, there is, because Patriot fans, they travel, and there's gonna be a lot of Patriot fans at the game. We already know that's gonna go down. I've already heard local Bucs fans sold their tickets to Patriots fans, which is disgraceful. I'm like, come on, like, you kidding me? But go ahead, Tones, go ahead.
I got a quick question for you. Over under 10,000 Tom Brady jerseys worn in Raymond James Stadium on Sunday, combined Patriots, Bucs, and those terrible, ugly half and halves.
Oh, it's gonna be laughable. That's where you're really gonna see, all those Tom Brady jerseys rolling around the stadium. It's not gonna surprise me at all. And all I can do is just say thank you, like you mentioned earlier. Thank you for making that choice of letting Brady walk, and he came down here and proved it in 1 year to win a Super Bowl. And who was more important, him or Bill Belichick, which could be another debate. But to me, there'll be a lot of Tom Brady jerseys. Might see a little sprinkle of Teddy Bruschi. Try to go back in the day when they were good and stuff like that.
The Albert
Most part.
Haynesworth Patriots, you never know. That might be a good one out there. Maybe Antonio Brown Patriots. They had a lot of former Buccaneers stars in their day. They
Sure,
ripped off from maybe Tim Wright, good old Tim Wright jerseys. So, they had a lot of winners between AB Haynesworth, Tim Wright. I will say Revis did really good in New England, so can't really lump him in with those guys. So we'll see. Yeah, 60% TB12 jerseys. I actually know a buddy of mine who went to college here. He went to college with me, and him and his family, they're not Bucs fans, but they loved Brady. They went down to a Bucs game. All 10 of them bought a Brady jersey at the game just to wear him at the game. But Zach, thoughts on ticket prices? I know we talked about it, but for people like us, it's like, game used jersey or a Bucs ticket?
Yeah, ticket prices are rough, man. Typical $100 300 section ticket is going $250 plus. It's not so bad if I was buying just one ticket, but my wife's coming with me, so now it's now I'm looking at $500-$600 to go to a game, and I'm not a cheap ass by any stretch, but I'm already driving, so I've got gas and hotels and all these other things that I'm trying to factor into it. So I'm trying to ball on a budget and get to this game, but I don't think it's in the cards. So it's rough. As much as I hate it, it is what it is. The Bucs fans have been doing it for years, selling to the opposing fans. The ownership has tried to do some incentives to, you attend enough games, you get something back. But, a franchise shouldn't have to do that. You go to some of these other cities where they're at, and you don't see that. There's only a handful of stadiums where it's a 50-50 split or a 60-40 split. Sunday at Pittsburgh, it was probably like 80-20 at the most. I'd probably lean closer to 90-10 as far as the split. Steelers fans don't really sell their tickets like the Bucs fans do. So it's disheartening. But money talks at the end of the day. And some of these folks look at it as an investment. So I'm still going to be on the prowl and on the lookout, and hopefully I can snag something reasonable. But I'm not gonna overpay to sit right on top of the sun in the 300 sections.
I totally agree with you. And Richard says Carlton Davis jerseys. Now they probably ripped and broken. Don't forget Jeff Demps jerseys. Those are probably good ones to get. Florida Gator over there. I just have one question for you, Tom Brady, Ring 7. What does Baker Mayfield overrate? You say RQB overrates. He overrates what? He overrates the food he eats. He overrates the grass he walks. What does he overrate? You said your QB overrates. Overrates what? Overrates his prices, overrates his index, you got to be more clear. If I'm going to say, J-Lo, you overrate that, you're going to be like, you overrate what? So I can't really tell what you're trying to say. Our QB overrates what? It's like that Abbott and Costello Who's on First gig that they did back in the day. Katz, what say you on the current status of Bucs ticket prices? Pretty crazy.
They're way too high. And it goes on a game-by-game basis. Like Arizona's coming in here next, and I know the ticket prices for that one are significantly lower. And the same would be true for New Orleans and Atlanta. So it seems I don't like the whole tiered pricing where more of a national opponent comes in and the ticket prices are higher. The Glazers, probably need to rethink. They do need to rethink because it wasn't always like this. Their pricing structure. And it used to be the same prices for every game, and this is something they've done now for a while. And it's not right for the average fan. That's 200 plus for nosebleed seats. That's absolutely ridiculous. I was a season ticket holder. I was paying 50, and I sat upstairs, but I had pretty good seats up there, and I was paying would average about $50 per game. Actually less than that, 40 to 50 per game. Now, can't do that anymore. It was like that. Like if the team was bad, they were doing that. So I don't know. It shouldn't be where the team is good and the fans get penalized with higher ticket prices.
Couldn't agree more. And again, another classic Patriot Buck, while I'm naming him, Kenyon Barner, Buccaneers Super Bowl champion. New England Patriots Super Bowl champions. So there's a lot of, coaches, front office, general manager Jason Light came over. Remember New England? You guys gave up on that guy a little too soon as well. So New England's really good at giving up really good talent to the Bucs too soon. You did it with Brady. You did it with Jason Light. You did it with Gronk. You did it with Antonio Brown. You did it with Logan Mankins. So we appreciate it. We really do appreciate it. I want to go, but I'm a total seat snob and not dropping. Yeah, I agree, B-Shuck. I agree, but we'll see, man. It's going to be an Easter egg hunt out there. Hope everybody who wants to go could maybe find a reasonable ticket one way or another, or maybe Jason Light could be like Oprah Winfrey, and you get a ticket, and you get a ticket, and you get a ticket. Let's just throw up the Brady, what do they call that? The cruise nest that we had for the one season. Let's just throw that back up, and the Buccateers get to pick who sits in that area. How about that? So we'll see what happens, but we know what will happen. Zach, Tampa Tones, J-Lo, A-Cats will all be within the Tampa Bay 813 area this weekend. Zach, travel safely, my friend. Any last words for the program that we may have not gotten to yet on this beautiful Tune Me Up Tuesday, brother?
I think we covered it. Unless you have some tickets you want to sell, you can DM Tones and myself, and maybe we can put some money in your pocket.
Yeah, I swear, I'll hook you. If you give me a ticket, I'll give you a ticket to a future game. Bucs preseason opener next. No, I'm kidding. But for real, if you help hook us up, we will literally help you out greatly. Zach and I are looking for tickets. Let us know. Hopefully we can see you down there, Zach. If not, we'll surely meet up in Carolina. Jayla, what say you, brother? Thoughts on this game? Final words for the program and all else in between.
No, I mean, it's going to be a slobber knocker. It's going to be a fun one to watch. Definitely didn't see this coming with the Patriots only having 2 losses in their column. So that's very interesting to me. And looking forward to seeing all these wonderful so-called Patriot fans, that are local to come to the stadium. And for the most part, safe travels to y'all both, coming down here. Hopefully I'll see y'all. I know I'll see Tones. Hopefully I'll see you, Zach. Hopefully we can hang out a little bit, depends how, schedule goes. Cause I know y'all some busy people. And looking forward to the next show. And, hey, let's go.
Yeah, I thought you were leaning back there and passing gas or something.
No.
I was waiting for a firing of the cannon. Hey, B-Shuck said always something new. First pod I ever watched with the guy in his bed. So there you go, Cats. You get a shout out for a first of B-Shuck. What say you, Cats? And final word for the show, brother.
Yeah, I've done it before. Some nights I'm just more tired than others. No, great show, guys. Always a good time. I'm looking forward to this game. The bye week was badly needed, but now getting back to action is badly needed because a little boring without the Bucs playing. So really looking forward to that. And yeah, guys, have safe travels.
Safe travels to you, Zach. I'll get down there Friday at some point in time, and I really can't wait. But we will be back Thursday on a Saturday showdown. Any of us who can make it will be here. I think J-Lo could definitely catch. We'd love to have you. Zach will be traveling. I think we'll be getting Joey, some other NFL guest. And as I final word this, shout out to Coach Moorhead coaching tonight in MACTION, home against UMass Akron. Head coach, former Penn State OC, hooked me up with a TTM, which we talked about on Man Cave Monday. So go be sure to check that replay out now. Thanks again to B-Shuck, Olivia, Cleve and me, Christopher Cole, our guy Richard T, even Tom Brady 7 rings, the rest of the crew, Fabrizio, and so many more who joined us tonight. B-Shuck, as always, thank you for the super chat. Never expected, always appreciated. And remember, on behalf of Zach, Tampa Tones, A-Cats, J-Lo, always fire the damn cannons. And remember to go Bucs. Good night, fellas. Everybody have a safe, MACTION-packed Tuesday. We'll be back here tomorrow on a short and Thursday live. Have a great night, everybody. Fire the damn cannons. Yeah. We'll put it like that. What's it like? I was actually there in attendance in Cleveland for Coe's first career NFL touchdown, which was awesome. And,
awesome.
it was a great game. You could hear me on camera. I was just screaming, "Say it ain't so, so! Say it ain't so!" Sadly, from there, you know, the game kind of went off the rails a little. That was the last high moment of that game, but it was a great game. Overtime loss, fun time. But how was that moment for you? You know, seeing the first, whether it was on TV, in person, wherever you were, seeing his first NFL touchdown. How was that?
Well, you know, dude, I mean, we were at home because it was a away game. We don't travel to a lot of the away games because we can get into that later. But, you know, to watch that and to think I wished I was there live. So to have your video was so cool. And just that, hey, this is so cool. I mean, that was so cool for us. Yeah, catching it from Tom Brady, right? Like, he's got the ball yet. First NFL touchdown means a lot, right? I mean, as a dad, that's just so cool to see. And it's just, it was fun to watch. And yeah, it didn't have the outcome we wanted, but still the same. What a memory! What a memory to have, right? So,
and honestly,
cool.
those. One of the best guests ever, the Buccateers in the house tonight. You guys hear him on Tampa radio all the time. He's one of the best in the business. My favorite personal in the business. That's why I'm elated tonight. You know, growing up in the Chicago area, you're used to sports radio. That's what gets me through the day. So this man does help get me through the day, I will say, with the Pat and Aaron show at work. Nothing like it. So it's incredible. It looks like we got Stunna bumbling in. I'm Tampa Tones. We are joined by lead goon tonight, host of the Pat and Aaron show of WDAE, Pat Donovan. And it sounds like Stunna is bumbling a little bit. Gonna put him on mute for a second until that gets a little clear. But we're joined by Pat
It looks like
Donovan.
Stunna's hanging out with Cheech and Chong in a car with the windows up or something over there.
It does look like you got a little.
No, my camera's broke.
And he was trying to pull me in big time. And then I was like, hey, you know, nothing's happened with Indianapolis yet. Like, I really want to give Indy a chance. And then also I talked to Cody Gruden, you know, once he took over Rich McCann and still like, well, look, I was like, y'all just give me the opportunity to explore free agency, see what's going on, and then come out and make us do it.
All right, everyone, you are tuned into the Buccateers of wide receiver Kalen Geiger, and we are about to have a great pod. This is the Buccateers. You're tapped in, and here we go.